Good evening and welcome to HCTV, the Weekend Insider, episode 8. Evening, lads. We're back to our normal team tonight. Dave and Ian. How's it going, lads? Ian, you fully recovered from Cheltenham, mate?
I wouldn't say fully recovered. No, I'm still feeling the after effects of it. I'm knackered this week. We put a proper good shift in there last week.
Good. You took the week off work, did you, to watch it all week?
Yeah, took the week off work, and obviously we've done the podcast special with Ronan, and pleased how it went, to be honest, mate. I think I sent you a list, didn't I, last week? I think we picked out. Have you got a list there? Were you going to go through that?
Yeah, I have. I've got the full list there. I was going to go into that in a second, if you wouldn't mind not ruining my schedule, please.
Yeah, go on, mate. How are you, Dave? You okay, mate? Is it good to have me on, not giving you shit like your brother did last week?
Tell you what, I'll get on to mine in a minute because he saved my skin last week. But
he really did. He really did.
Sorry, I was going to say, but he didn't show the capabilities to fill in full time for Ian, did he?
To be honest, Dave, I thought it was going to be me, him, and Chris this week. I thought you were definitely getting the elbow.
It actually should have been, to be honest. If he could just work his personable skills a little bit more, and I know he'll be fuming listening to this. Okay, so Cheltenham, Ian. Yeah. So I mean, with yourself and Ron, I'm just having a little look here. I mean, day one. First of all, there was an 8-1 forecast with Appreciated in Balladam. We had a 4-7 winner with Shishkin, a 10-1 place with Captain Guinness, a 9-4 winner with Honeysuckle, and was it a 7-2 win with Galvin?
Yeah, Galvin won the last as well, mate. Yeah, so it was a hell of a start to the week.
Yeah, it was. I mean, day one to have that already racking up is unbelievable, really. And they weren't just picking out ones from every race or something. They were properly thought out and a good insider into each one then. And then moving on to day two, which was everybody's selection really. 7-4 on Bob Ollinger, and then put the kettle on after that with without the favourite. Was that 9-1? I think it was without the favourite.
Yeah, so not so it came in. It actually won the race in the end, didn't it?
Yeah,
it did. It beat Shaq and Poursoir, and hats off to Ronan on that one. He tipped that up without the favourite and fancied it each way. Shaq and Poursoir just didn't really fire up the hill and put the kettle on. He just he keeps finding all the time, and it was a great run.
Yeah, you had that, didn't you, Dave? I remember. I think I heard you from my house shouting at home.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was very happy with that one.
He's always shouting, "Put the kettle on," isn't he?
Yeah. And then on the same day, a 2-1 winner. Sir Gerard, is that what it was called? Yeah.
Sir Gerard, yeah, in the bumper. So we were both sweet on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and then going on to day three, 5-1 with Allaho, and an 8-1 with Fakir de
Udari. Fakir Udari.
Fakir de Udari. Yeah, with that one.
That came second. Yeah.
Yeah, so a place on that.
Let's not talk about the Friday. Let's not talk about the Friday.
Well, day four album photo. I mean, the big selection really just let us down, didn't it? Really.
It came third. It's won 2 Gold Cups already, so it didn't owe us anything. And to be honest, coming down the bottom bend, I was looking at
it. Mate, we all bet.
Yeah. It was coming down the bottom bend. I thought he's going to pick these 2 up easy here, coming up the hill.
Yeah.
Didn't, but that's all right. And we've made our money on the first 2 days, so we were all right.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Moving on to last week, Dave. I know that probably the bit that you're not really looking forward to. Do you want to go through your brother's tips with a 9-1 winner?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Do you know what? He did really well. I've got it at 8. I've got it at 8-1. By the way,
I think when I put it on, it was 9-1.
Right. Okay. But anyway, it was his fourfold, both teams to score, And to be fair to him, he absolutely smashed it. There was loads of goals in all four. Well, in two in particular. On the Saturday, it was Barrow and Crawley. I think that was 3-2. Burton MK Dons. And then on the Sunday, he tips up Celtic and Rangers. And that was in at half time. Was it? Might have been. I can't remember.
No, it was right at the end. He scored right at the end, didn't they?
Right. Yeah. Anyway, West Ham and Arsenal was his last pick, and that was 3-3. So, fair play to him. 8-1 or 9-1 winner. You can't complain at that off a fourfold. That was good going.
Has he been on the text today, Dave, to tell you what to do today?
Oh no! Well, he let me know about it on Sunday. Don't you worry about that.
He was all. I rang him today actually, and he was on about. He said, "Listen, make sure you give them some. I'll give Dave some anyway." So he's pushing for a permanent spot. He's been on today. Well, I think he's waiting by his phone for a secret insider one.
Well, he won't get it. He won't get on after this week because I'll be back this week anyway. Normal service will be resumed. And also, I just want to add on the win games that we both predicted. We were both well out, and it was summed up. We didn't speak each other before we did the podcast, and we both tipped Fleetwood to beat Swindon. And that was we were both giving out loads of facts and figures, like they'd not lost in 7 home games, Fleetwood, and Swindon have not lost in the last 7 away. 2-0 to Swindon. And then and finally my both teams to score. It was summed up with my German game, Bayern versus Stuttgart. Bayern had a red card after 12 minutes. So I thought, so I just hope Bayern will score with being down to 10 men. Bayern won 4-0. Stuttgart didn't have a chance. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is unbelievable. That did sum it up really, but still, it carries on with a 9-1 winner.
I mean, the podcast had a 9-1 winner. You can't argue with that at all.
No, you can't. You really can't. So that's like each week we've been doing this. We're on episode 8 tonight, and it's every week we've had some decent winners. So can't really complain, fellas. You can't win all the time, but at the moment we are. So. So looking on to different bets, I was having a little look around some different markets and stuff today.
It's not like you, Chris.
what are you giggling at? So today I thought, what's knocking about when the strange markets are about current markets that you can currently bet on. So I was having a look at next Prime Minister. So I thought, he's got the usual ones up there. Rishi Sunak, 9-4 favourite. Keir Starmer, 11-4 second favourite. But the real value, 250-1. I'll not be putting my money on it though. Is Piers Morgan for next Prime Minister is 250-1. I mean, I know we like our strange bets, but I think I'll be keeping my money in my pocket on that one.
I'm guessing you can't bet each way on that market either, can you?
no, definitely not.
To be fair, he is the only one who's unemployed at the minute, so got that going for him.
He's ready to take the job, isn't he?
But if things don't go his way in Parliament, he can't really walk out of there like he did in the studio, can he? And then
that was bad, wasn't he?
I like all the memes that followed afterwards. Memes, sorry. I always say memes.
What the fuck's a meme?
I don't know. I always say...
I'm going to change your name in my phone. I'm going to change your name to Dave Mem.
Oh, no. I tell you what, our John's he's rubbed off on me. I'm falling to bits here.
Oh dear, I don't know. So looking on to this week, fellas, we've got a big night of boxing on Saturday. Dillian White versus Pevectin. Jesus,
this is a disaster. This has gone bad way earlier than usual tonight.
The last time you have a week off, Ian.
I know, yeah. After fortune cookie, I had to take the week off.
Oh dear. So Dillian White versus Pevectin on Saturday. Dillian White is red hot favourite at 2-7. Perfecting is 5-2, and the draw is 25-1.
Let me guess, Chris, you're going for the draw.
No, I'm really not. I'm really not, because I was reading about this today. Now, let me tell you about this. William Hill have done a study of the current top 15 heavyweight boxers in the WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF rankings that found only 6% of first-time losers. So this is the rematch, this fight. So only 6% of first-time losers have gone on to win the rematch. So Dillian White got beat the first time round, but then he's red hot favourite this time round. So only 6% go on to win it. It delved into 34 active fighters and found there were 17 rematches which were detailed. With Anthony Joshua, the only man to claim a victory at the second time of asking after losing first time round. So if you're looking into, yeah, good, and stat attack, stato.
Stat attack. You need a thing that comes up across the screen, Chris. Stat
I know.
attack.
Well, I'll get one. I'll get one made. So yeah, 5-2, and he is 3-1 to win by knockout. So there might be a little bit of value in that. I mean, you can't back at 2-7, can you? So for a bit of interest, Saturday night, win your pay-per-view money back, or live stream if you're very, very naughty on one of the dodgy boxes. 5-2 or 3-1, which is pretty good in my eyes.
HCTV does not condone illegal live streaming.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Definitely.
And especially with Chris's internet connection, he won't be able to watch it anyway.
Mate, this is like the Eurovision Song Contest. This waiting for the results to come in, isn't it? Like
I'm sat in 1986.
Mate, it's like one of those like bad Japanese kung fu movies or something. He's moving his lips and then the voice is coming afterwards.
Chris Hodgkinson, nil point.
Also this weekend, the English Rugby League starts. Super League is back this weekend, which I'm glad to see. So there's all the games are on Sky this weekend. There's 2 tomorrow night, 2 Saturday, and 2 Sunday, which is pretty good, really. And I was having a look at the odds for the grand final winners. St Helens and Wigan are both 5-2 favourites, and Warrington are 7-1 to win the grand final at the end of the
Warrington's
season.
year this year, Chris.
Oh yeah,
again.
Warrington's like year. But I'm not even the local lad, and I've got onto that now. It's Warrington's year this year.
So I've picked out my selections on the Rugby League. Now, I haven't got the best of records. Yeah, handicap betting, Dave. You got it.
No,
you got it, Dave. I'm not the best, but I fancy this one. But there's no form to go on because it's the first game of the season. But I've picked 3 out. My selections are St Helens are at home to Salford. Salford have got +12. I fancy Salford. Handicap, for those who don't know, handicap betting means, so from the word go, Salford with a 12 start are 12-0 up. So at the very end, St Helens need to win by more than 12 points for that to come in.
So you fancy Salford in that, yeah?
I fancy Salford they might get beat, but I don't think it'll get beat by many. But I fancy Salford for it to be pretty tight. So I'm going for Salford with a 12 start lead. I'm also going for Wigan at -8. So they're playing Leigh at Leigh in a local derby, but I think Wigan will be strong this year. And I'm going for Warrington away at Castleford with a -6 start. So Castle starting +6. I'm fancying all of them, and that pays about 6-1 for the treble.
I'm going to have to go on that, Chris, because I've got a feeling you might be carrying the podcast hopes this week.
Oh, God.
Oh, thanks, Ian.
Dear me. Confidence right through there. That means if you put £10 on that at 6-1, the bookies will have another £10 in the coffers. No, it doesn't. We're full of confidence.
Full of something.
Chris, can I get this right? Can we? You're going to do like a little rugby thing every week, then, and can we go over your predictions next week?
100%.
You can go over mine, Dave. Yep, and then I'll be ringing John to ask for his. Going on to this week then, fellas. Whoever wants to go first. So they're my rugby selections, my rugby winners. This week, whoever wants to go first, Dave, Ian.
Go on, Ian. Yeah, you go for it, mate.
Right, okay.
I hope there's some good names in it I can take the piss out of.
Oh, mate, that's the only way I pick horses now, just to tee you up for comedy values on the podcast. It's I've gone old school on it.
Good.
It's the return of the flat season this week, which the transition does take a little bit of getting used to. A bit like you just said with the rugby there, there's no form to go on as such. So you're looking at horses that are either coming off the all-weather that they've run over the winter, or they're running first time out. It's the traditional season curtain raiser at Doncaster. It's called the Lincoln. It's one of the oldest races in British history. It's run over a mile, as I say, at Doncaster. And it's a cracking race. It's what we call a handicap race. So essentially the horses are weighted according to their rating, according to their ability. Where in theory the best horse carrying the heaviest weight and the worst horse in the race carrying lighter weight according, as I say, to how good they are. It's one of those races that isn't. Well, I think there's 22 runners declared, and traditionally, it goes to quite a big price because it's such a hard race to try and pick the winner of. But it wouldn't be this podcast if we didn't try and pick a big race winner in the biggest handicap of the day. But just to give you an indication, it wasn't run last year because of COVID. So the year before, the 5-2 favourite actually won. But before that, we've had 25-1 winner, 33-1 winner, 12-1, 20-1, 16-1. So with 22 runners in it, you could argue that it's a sort of needle in a haystack type of race. But I've been looking through the stats. What type of horse wins this? It's normally an improving type of horse. One of the key stats I do like is that you want horses that are proven over this distance. And the favourite, which is quite a sure favourite for John Gosden, still hasn't won over a mile yet. And although it's an improving horse and did win at Doncaster last season, at such a short price, it's 3-1, I think, in this big race. I'm happy to draw a line through that. And with Sky Bet paying 7 places, you laughing at Sky Bet?
No, I'm laughing at
I'm laughing at the banner.
Wait, yes, I love that. Didn't even see that. I was concentrating on my notes.
Sorry, mate. For people on the podcast, we've just put a banner across that shouts Stato. Well, it doesn't shout; it just reads Stato.
It's got an exclamation mark at the end of it, so it sort of shouts it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, mate. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, pal.
That's all right. So 3-1. Happy to draw a line through it and start looking at some of the bigger odds to try and get us a good winner here. So I don't normally like Sky Bet, as you know, but they're paying 7 places on this. Paddy are already paying 5 places on it. There's a lot of opportunities here to get some big prices each way. There's 2 horses I've picked out. My main fancy in this is 12-1. And I'm going to go quite big on this each way at the weekend, actually. It's called Danyah, Danyah. It's 12-1. It loves good ground. It's for a young but cracking trainer called Owen Burrows. And I think everything's in its favour. For the last 2 seasons, it's won first time out, so it's won fresh. So that's proven. It's won at Doncaster. It's won over a mile. The weather's been good all week. I think there's so much in this horse's favour at 12-1. The price of it compared to the top 3 or 4 in the market's ridiculous. I'm happy. If the weather stays as is and doesn't turn into an absolute slog, this horse has got a cracking chance.
Ian, what time's the race, mate?
3:10. 3:10 at Doncaster.
Right.
Danyah. If I'm going to throw a little bit of a safety net in here. If the heavens open over the next couple of days, so check the going on Saturday. If it turns soft or heavy, there's a horse called Brentford Hope. It's 8-1 currently. Its last race at Haydock was one of the cheekiest wins I've seen from a horse in a long time. Jamie Spencer was on it, who is a bit of a hit or miss type of jockey anyway. He always loves this sort of cheeky ride where he settles them in at the back and comes late. This horse had so much in hand last time at Adok. It literally won with the jockey sitting still looking round at the other ones. It was quite embarrassing. It needs soft ground though. If it turns soft, big each way bet on that. Otherwise, Danny R's the one on good ground.
Nice.
That's the start of the flat season. I'm going to go a bit left field now. There's the Dubai World
Not the
Cup.
Wood Championships, is it?
I've stuck to horse racing, mate. I've left that to you. It's the Dubai World Cup this weekend from Meydan. It's the racing's of a ridiculously good standard and the prize money's massive. So I thought, in sticking with the flat season, why not try and pick a couple out here as well? There's a jumps meeting at Newbury. There's some other good flat meetings in the UK. But the Doncaster one's the big one there. And I thought, right, let's have a look at this Dubai World Cup and try and pick a few winners over there. So there's 2 or 3 horses I'll quickly shoot through in this. The 1:30 race at Meydan is a 6 furlong sprint. There's a horse in this called Space Blues, which is the favourite. It's clear on ratings. It's been going through an absolute purple patch of form. And in theory, should win. However, it's 6-5 in, again, I think a 15-horse runner race. Over the last 2 years, there's only one race it flopped in, and it was this race last year. It's the worst race it's ran in 2 years. And with that in mind, again, you know me, I always like to try and take on a favourite if I can. Now, there's loads that could pop in on this. But there's an American horse coming over for it to Dubai. A horse called Cowan. Cowan. It's 20-1. It's
mustard in it.
Hey, Chris, I couldn't believe you missed that. Must have been the satellite delay.
Sorry.
Satellite delay. So it's rated £7 inferior.
Mustard.
Do you know what? That's actually one of the funniest jokes you've done.
Oh dear.
So it's rated £7 inferior to the favourite, but because it's only a 3-year-old, it's carrying £9 less. It came second in the Saudi Arabia Derby, which was worth 3.5 million. It came second in the Breeders' Cup to a horse called Gold Pal. If this gets off to a good start, and the Americans are known for having fast horses, if this gets off to a decent start, its finishing kick is tremendous. We've got to stay with them through the first 3 or 4 furlongs. If he's there with a chance after 4 furlongs, I know he's going to finish well. So you're taking a risk on that. Do they get away from him? At 20-1, it's worth taking that risk. What's the point in backing a 6-5 favourite in that type of race against quality horses? So Cowan, 20-1 in the 1:30. The final main fancy is in the 3:30 at Meydan. It's an absolute cracking race. Run just over a mile. There's a number of good horses in it. The favourite is John Gosden, one with Frankie Dettori on it. Again, we're going to try and shy away from the favourite. We're going to pick a horse out called Al Shalail. It's 4-1. It's a Godolphin horse who, you know, their operations in Dubai. William Buick's on it. It's the one with potential to improve most, in my opinion, out of all of these horses in the race. I watched its last run, and in theory, it's got a lot to find with some of the principles in this race. But I looked at its last run, and it was green at anything, which means it was still sort of quite young. It was pulling its head all over the place, and it was. Not a mate.
Got the giggles, have you?
Is it a family show, this?
Yeah, well, my mum watches, as you know, Ian.
Oh, yeah, she does, doesn't she? Racist Nan. Was it racist Nan or racist Mum?
What odds is this one, Ian?
So Al Shalale, its last run, it even drifted right across the track in its last run and still finished about a length behind the winner. I think there's loads of improvement to come in this one. If William Buick can get it settled, I think it's got an inside draw. If he keeps it tucked in on that rail, it's got a great turn of foot. And again, with 2 furlongs to go, if the pace isn't that good in this, he's going to quicken away from them. 4-1 on the nose, Al Shalale, 3:30 at Maidan.
So we're hoping he doesn't pull his head all around the track and keeps it tucked in.
Mate, if he pulls his head off in this, then...
Poor. It's poor, this. That's not... It's not.
But we're all in for good viewing now.
I reckon this is the worst one we've done so far.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
Mustard. Just to recap, we've got, again, this is for Dave's mum only. We've got Danny R in the 3:10 at Doncaster at 12-1. If the heavens open and it turns heavy, Brentford Hope 8-1. Save that for the day. In the 1:30 at Maidan, we've got Cowan at 20-1 each way. And in the 3:30 at Maidan, Al Shalale 4-1 on the nose.
Lovely. Good stuff, mate. A nice 3 selections there. Over to you, Dave, with your football, mate.
Okay, cheers, mate. We're going again. Going with the same way we always do. I mean, we had a bad one last week, but John had a good one. I didn't, but I'm going to go with it again. Quite a bit of research this week, so I'm hoping these ones come in. So the win treble.
With me stato banner. Hang on. Go on.
Oh, there's loads here. Oh,
hang on. Wait, what's this banner here? Bring back John. Just
the
seen
real
that
football expert.
Aeroplane fly over the house. Bring back John.
I'm never going to live this down, honestly. It couldn't have gone any worse, that, could it? So, actually, I have got the best stat of the night at the end of this, but it isn't mine. But anyway. So, first game on the win treble. Let's go. Blackpool to beat Plymouth. Blackpool have not lost in 14 home games. They beat Peterborough at home 3-1 on Tuesday. They're in great form and they're looking good for playoffs. At least, I think. Plymouth, they've lost the last 4 away. Now, they beat Bristol at home on Tuesday, but at the moment, anybody can beat Bristol Rovers. And I'll get onto that in a minute. They're in awful form. And with Blackpool being in such good form, I fully expect a home win. I'm going against what I normally do now. I'm going for 2 away wins. The first away win is, as I've just mentioned, Bristol Rovers, and they're playing Sunderland. And I think we all know of the great run that Sunderland are on, and they're looking really good for automatic promotion. They've lost 1 in the last 14 away as your stat for that one as well. So we fancy Sunderland for that. And then my other away win is Cambridge at Carlisle. Cambridge have only won 1 of the last 12 games, and they're losing 8 of them 12. And the mid-table, they're not going to get relegated. They're not going to get in the playoffs. So at the moment, they've really not got much to play for. It's showing in the results. Cambridge they've been on a bad run, but they're still second in the table, which I was surprised at when I was doing the research earlier on. I couldn't believe, because I've been like looking at the results each week, and I'm like, how are they still second? But they've just hit form. They've won the last 2. So I'm going for Cambridge to go and beat Carlisle and continue that recent decent form. So the treble of Blackpool, Sunderland, and Cambridge pays 9-1.
Oh, he's trying to replicate John, isn't he, with his 9-1? That's why you put 8-1 on your pad
I'm gonna have to
before.
pick one. Yeah. It just shows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, you're all right.
All right, okay. Mustard.
No, I was just going to say, it just shows picking 2 away teams how it massively increases the odds, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually, which is surprising with COVID. You know, because there's no fans there, is there? So
COVID doesn't discriminate, mate. We've not been listening to the government messages.
Why? What's that?
This is getting weird. What are we talking about now?
It's Chris is frozen.
Oh, he's gone. Dave, it's up to us to continue the podcast here, mate. Right. I'll play the role of Chris.
Right.
You be you. Right.
Okay. I'll try my best. It's
all right.
Bit tough, but
right, Dave. What have you got next, son?
Right. We'll just crack on. Right. So we're ready for the both teams to score.
Yeah, go on, hit me, mate.
Right. Okay. So we're going. Oh, it's Chris's team as well. Wigan against Ipswich. So Wigan, they beat MK Dons 3-0 in the last home game. Before that, they lost 5, conceding 16 goals. They need a win to survive. So I think they will score. Oh, here he is.
We've been Chris. We've been professional, mate. We're carrying on, so please don't interrupt. Crack on, Dave.
So this is Wigan and Ipswich, both teams to score, Chris. So they need to win for survival. So I fully expect Wigan to score on Saturday. Ipswich, they've not been great away from home, but for 2 reasons, I'm tipping them to score at least a goal. They've got a slim chance of playoffs, and Paul Cook is old Wigan manager, and he'll want to go there, and he won't want to get beat.
Needs to change of fortunes, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, oh my God, I'm always on. I can't believe that. I didn't even click.
I'm glad my internet's come back on for this.
Just in time.
Oh dear. I do know Ipswich are missing a few players though.
Oh, are they? I didn't know.
Yeah, I've done my research, Dave. I ran
you will be. You're a Wigan fan. I don't go into that much research. You know, I don't get not too fussed about Wigan, mate.
They only need to score a goal, and everyone scores against Wigan.
Exactly.
They do, mate, yeah.
So, second one is Morecambe and Cheltenham.
Oh no, not this joke again.
I was going to go with that.
Am I?
Chris.
I'm going to have to think now before everyone I predict what's going to come out of your mouth.
Chris, for YouTube listeners, I was just going to run off like that.
Dear me. Right. Morecambe have scored 17 of the last 18 at home, and they were beaten at home in the last game 3-1. Cheltenham have scored in the last 6 games, winning 5. So they both score a lot of goals. So that's my second pick. And my final pick is where I've got my big stat that I nicked off Sky Sports when I was watching the Belgium game last night. I'm going international for the last one. It's Czech Republic versus Belgium. Czech Republic are flying like they were in Euro 96. They've not got Podolski and Berger and all them stars. They've got some great players. They're scoring loads of goals. They won 6-1 against Estonia last night. Now, Belgium, to me, are like the international comparison to Dortmund. They score loads of goals, but they do concede. And here's your crazy stat. The last time that Belgium didn't score was the 10th of July 2018, and that was a World Cup semi-final against France. So
until this Saturday.
So for almost 3 years, well, in July, they've not scored.
Oh, mate, this is getting built up, ready. We're just going to take snippets of this and play it back next week.
So all I'll say to you is that Belgium will 110% score. It's just whether we can get, Czech Republic to score, but they will, because they are a decent side and they are flying. 6-1 for the treble. If you want to back the sixfold, 70-1.
I'll tell you what, throw the rugby ones in on top of that.
Oh, that'll be ridiculous. That'll be.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm looking at a piece of paper looking for the odds. I didn't even know what the rugby ones were till Chris said them.
One of these days, though, that, for example, when you look at it like that, a 9-1 and a 6-1 playing 70-1, it's only a matter of time, and before one of them, it all comes in, and we're going to be absolutely laughing out with. But imagine that 70-1. But each week we've had a decent winner. Last week was 9-1. Other weeks we had 17-2. The Cheltenham special, loads of different winners, some good forecasts, 8-1s, and you know what I mean. With each and every week we've had stuff, and our global fan base is growing all the time. We've had listeners in France, Dallas, Australia, all over the show. They've been listening to us rabbit on about fortune cookies and all kinds of different stuff.
I want you to come on next week, like with a big JR cowboy hat and that, just for our Dallas listeners.
Yeah, I do.
Do the accent and that.
Brilliant. Right, lads. All good then. So we've got your rugby league selections, which start tomorrow, your racing Saturday, and your football Saturday. So we're in for a big weekend of sport. Don't forget your boxing. Hopefully we can get a 5-2 winner on the stats that William Hill have put out. So we're in for a really, really good weekend. Things light at the end of the tunnel. I think the F1 starts this weekend as well, does it? I'm not a big fan of F1, but I think that starts Sunday. I'm not too sure. I'll have to have a look. But hopefully we'll get some winners, some great stats, some great insights there, fellas. Thanks very much again for your time. Anything you boys want to add?
No,
don't ask me to take that as a no.
Yeah, good laugh as always. Nice one, lads.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, good stuff, fellas. Brilliant. Right, thanks for your time, lads. I'll hopefully get some winners, and we shall see you next week.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, lads.
Take care. Bye.